This is the story of Dave, his unstoppable rise to being one of the greatest artists of his generation, being catapulted into the world stage as early as his first EP, but with the groundwork and work ethic to back it. Welcome to Dirty Culture, documenting stories and commentary on culture, music, fashion, art, and general affairs. Grab a drink, kick back, and enjoy the video. Dave Omoregyi was born on June 5th, 1998, and he grew up in Streatham. He is the youngest of three brothers. They were raised by his mother, Juliet Omoregyi, on her own, as his father Frank was deported back to Nigeria. He was mistakenly on a visitor's visa, which he thought was a missionary visa. This expired and he was taken away when Dave was a baby. As far as documentation goes, Dave's mother ran with his two brothers in fear of being deported too. His dad Frank was holding Dave at the time. Dave was only a baby and his mother was later reunited with him months later. They moved around for a while and were homeless, going through unbelievable struggle for many years. They briefly settled in Brixton and eventually moved to Streatham around 2005 when Dave was 7 years old. Dave started writing at a young age, inspired by his brother. His mum decided that he would not be able to leave out from the age of 11 as both his brothers got into trouble and ended up facing jail sentences. He put out his first song at the age of 13, but nobody liked it, so he retired. Back when he was 11, his mother bought him a keyboard and he learned how to play the piano. Dave liked movie soundtracks and scores and anime music, and along with his friend Carl, they challenged each other to learn sheet music and play various different pieces of music on the piano, acquired from the internet. He was encouraged a lot by his school teacher to play the piano, so he continued to master his craft, completing 4 to 5 hour sessions in the evenings at home, losing himself in the music as time flew by. So when he came out of retirement at 15 to 16, he got back to writing. He started going to college where he studied law, physics, ethics, sound design and politics. Dave describes himself as obsessive in nature. I would also say he's very meticulous, and that shows in his writing from early because his pen game was serious. His Black Bot freestyle was his first appearance in May 2015 at the age of 16, which was the day he actually started college. This freestyle currently sits at 15 million views. Dave goes in, demonstrating the hunger and passion he has for his craft, as well as describing the struggles of life growing up in the hood with just his mother and brothers within the prison system. People took a lot of notice, and he next appeared on an SBTV warm-up session in November of the same year, tearing down this freestyle too. His raw energy and lyrical ability was hard to miss. Jack Foster, former manager of Tinchy Strider, sent the SBTV freestyle to Benny Scars of Island Records at the time, asking for his opinion. He really liked it and followed on by watching the other freestyles Dave had put out. Benny recalls meeting someone very special when they eventually met after sending Dave a DM to link up.
Like driving back, just thinking like, yeah, we like met someone very, very special that day.
Yeah.
You know, like instantly, just like he's different, very different. And I don't know what I had expected his character to be like, but he was so intriguing, bro. Like very intriguing, like just very intriguing as a character, because he just wasn't. I don't know what I don't know what I expected. He just wasn't what I expected.
Benny left his position at Island Records to become one half of Dave's management, along with Jack Foster. He had been planning to make a shift in career prior to finding Dave, and Dave became the perfect opportunity. Dave's first single release was Jekyll and Hyde, which premiered on SBTV in January, delivering a cold flow over an Armin van Buuren sampled melodic track. Touching on his life without a father figure, being in a family of 2 from a family of 5, dangerous encounters on the streets, and the pointless nature of warring with ourselves via postcode wars. Later, he went to another platform, Radio 1, with DJ Semtex in February 2016, and then later Charlie Sloth's Fire in the Booth in March 2016. Thiago Silva was his second single release of 2016, released in May, a collaboration with AJ Tracey. Dave, now at the beginning of his journey, with a small team behind him. AJ Tracey was already an established grime artist, carving out his own lane through grime sets and tunes released independently. Thiago Silva, the grime hit, went on to do Bits, Flash forward, after a viral moment in 2019 with Dave bringing out a young guy called Alex on stage at Glastonbury, it entered the charts and topped out at number 36, eventually going platinum. Dave went on to release Picture Me in 2016, which was a single off of his first project. This track was powerful, predicting his future and at the same time asking people to paint their own pictures of the future, not wasting their life on the roads or in an office, inspiring those who would like to do more to do it. Be your own person. Forget the expectations of others. True success is doing what you love. Dave. The next stage in Dave's journey was very unexpected. There are several angles in the timeline of this story, which is actually as blurry as Dave describes. Dave was on a trip with friends to see Drake in Amsterdam, and management called and told Dave that Drake wanted to do something with his track Wanna Know. Dave said it was all a blur when he got the news. The show got cancelled, but they ended up linking up with Drake for the night instead. Dave released the original Fraser T and 169 produced song Wanna Know video from his Six Paths EP on September the 26th, 2016, and Six Paths was released on September the 30th, featuring 6 tracks. Eventually, the remix to the song by Drake was debuted on OVO Radio in October and placed on Drake's YouTube channel in December 2016, along with all other streaming platforms. Dave was on his own trajectory regardless, but the Drake remix was like a nitrous boost in need of speed. This put Dave on everybody's radar, the talent was undeniable, so people were bound to stand up and listen. Let's take a side note on the Drake effect. I read an article from DJ Booth at the time on the effect Drake's remix had on the song. Around those years and years following, a co-sign from Drake was hot property. One of the major things you can't take away from him was his ear to the streets and UK music. The remix of Dave's track was a key to the speed of his trajectory, but for me, it wasn't the key to his success, as many others has had co-signs and have not even built half of what Dave has currently. During 2016, Dave had decided not to attend Leicester Uni after being accepted and decided to pursue his music career full time, something his mum was very disappointed in hearing, but eventually came round to. So after the release of Wanna Know, everybody wanted Dave's attention. 2017 came around, Dave released a slew of singles, starting with the J Hus assisted Samantha. He went on to release 3 more singles before dropping singles for his next EP, Game Over. He also toured during the first part of the year with a few sold out headline shows, in addition to being brought out by Drake to perform Wanna Know at the O2 Arena during his Boy Meets World tour. Touching down at Wireless, Reading and Leeds Festival, and doing a 3-date tour of North America and Canada with AJ Tracy. Question Time was a very powerful track, a letter to the government and the Prime Minister, speaking on the money spent on wars overseas, the strain of leaving the EU, and the tragic events of Grenfell. This is crazy, as only recently a report was released prompting apologies. Please read up on the history of the events and learn about what happened. The crazy thing about this track, released in October 2017, is that it is still as relevant as ever in 2024. November 2017, he dropped the Steel Bangles produced and Mostak assisted No Words, which was closely followed with the release of the EP Game Over. I feel like each track was an exploration and an amazing way to follow up on the buzz of the previous year, with Dave producing 2 of the 6 tracks and co-producing another, and with production from Fraser T. Smith, 169 and J5 throughout.
The more and more music that I'd done, the easier it was for me to get a grasp of what was working, what wasn't, why people react the way they do to certain things. Like, I didn't come in with a formula or anything, so it all happened naturally. And I think like the freestyles helped me build the emotion, and it helped me build like a genuine connection with the people that were listening to the music.
Game Over was released independently on the 3rd of November 2017 and charted at number 13 in the UK album charts, with the Mostak assisted single charting at number 17. In November 2017, Dave won a Mobo for Best Newcomer and was nominated for Best British Breakthrough Act at the Brits, but missed out. He completed a UK tour for Game Over at the end of the year. Dave kept his foot on the gas in 2017, taking a pivotal moment and using it to his advantage. I can only imagine him and his team even further laying the groundwork of how they create projects and keep a tight-knit team. His advantage was having experience on his side, but Dave was already a genius of sorts. "2018 was much quieter on the release front, but Dave still made things happen. He released a single, Hangman, in February. He went quiet for some months and came back outside with the release of his Fredo-assisted track, Funky Friday, which came out in October and topped the charts at number 1. This being the third release of the year that debuted at number 1 and also Dave's first ever number 1 single. The following month, he went on his first tour of Europe. "2019 was the year of Dave, starting the year off charting with Heady One and the track 1800, hitting the number 6 spot. Then on February 21st, 2019, Dave announced his highly anticipated debut album, Psychodrama. Alongside this, the release of his lead single, Black. The video for Black featured the likes of Tiffany Calver, Stormzy, Idris Elba, Damson Idris, Dr. Anne-Marie Mafidon, Dina Asher Smith, Oswald Boateng, Raheem Sterling and Michael Ward. Black was a beautiful piece. It speaks on the struggles, the misconceptions, the unfair disadvantages, the day-to-day life, growing up, being black. He went on to release Psychodrama on March the 8th, which debuted at number 1 on the UK album charts, with the biggest streams in a week for a British rap album. Both official singles went platinum, Disaster and Location. Location is Dave's biggest track, going 4 times platinum. The same year, Dave toured and made his acting debut in Top Boy Season 3, which was revived by Ashley Walters and Drake. He played the character Moldy. I must say that I was really impressed with his performance and I hope to see more of him on the big screen. On September 19th, Dave picked up the Mercury Music Prize for his album Psychodrama. Then in 2020, he picked up a Brit Award, which made Dave only the second artist ever to pick up both a Brit Award and the Mercury Music Prize for the same album. His performance of his lead single Black at the Brits was incredible and came with controversy, calling out the Prime Minister at the time and the government over the current issues with Windrush and the treatment of the victims of Grenfell. Black won Dave his second Ivor Novello Award for Best Contemporary Song in September. His first award was for his politically charged song Question Time, which he also picked up the same award for in 2018. 2021, and Dave started the year by executive producing Fredo's album Money Can't Buy Happiness, which released on January 29th, and he was featured on the single Money Talks, which hit number 3 on the UK charts. He dropped a 2-track EP in April, Titanium and Mercury, which were deemed as leftovers from his album. Titanium peaked at number 9 in the charts and Mercury at number 33. On July 5th, he announced his follow-up album, We're All Alone in This Together. Dave is a big Hans Zimmer fan. If you remember growing up and learning the piano, he had a big interest in film scores, and later in life, he got to collaborate with the man himself. At the end of 2019, Dave collaborated with Hans Zimmer, one of his favourite composers of all time, and David Attenborough for a special episode of Planet Earth in which Dave played the piano. The title of the album came from a conversation Dave had with Hans Zimmer on FaceTime. On the 9th of July, he dropped the Stormzy assisted track Clash. He collaborated with Aston Martin on the video, as it was filmed at Aston Martin headquarters and Silverstone. Clash peaked at number 2. Then on July 23rd, Dave released his second album, We're All Alone in This Together, which, like his first album, debuted at number 1 in the UK album charts and broke the record for highest weekly album streams for a UK rap act. What was crazy was that his chart success was limited by the UK chart rules. You are only allowed 3 songs in the charts. His 3 official singles, Clash, which was number 2, Verdansk, which was number 4, and In the Fire, which was number 6, were on record as his charting singles. All 3 singles in the top 10. But if there was no limit on songs in the charts from one artist, Dave would have had all 12 tracks from his album in the top 20. His first week sales broke records, with this album having the biggest first week sales of a UK rap hip-hop album since Tiny Temper in 2010, and also the biggest opening week of an album since Coldplay in 2019. The dedication and the work rate paid off for him, and everything he touches turns to gold. Let's not forget, he picked up Best Contemporary Song for his third Ivor Novello Award in 2021. In 2022, Dave was touring, but it didn't stop him from breaking more records. He released a single called Starlight in March, which debuted at number 1. It became the first track of the 2020s to be written, produced, performed by one person to top the charts, and also since 2014. To top it off, it was the longest running number 1 of a solo UK rap song in the charts history. He won his 4th Ivor Novello Award for Songwriter of the Year at the awards in 2022. 2023 saw the release of a joint EP with Central C called Split Decision. The lead single dropped on June 1st, with the EP dropping on Dave's birthday, the 5th of June, a day after Central C's. The single went straight to number 1, being Dave's 3rd number 1 and Central C's 1st number 1 single, being the biggest streamed UK hip-hop single ever in its first week and the most streamed UK hip-hop song in its first day. Flash forward and we are awaiting more greatness to land. Although we have had a tweet from Dave stating he needs more time, whether or not this is in relation to a new album, who knows. But one thing is for sure, and that is the guy is working. He is an example, an inspiration, someone who is currently being studied by those who want to follow in his steps. He will also have a career that will be studied in history. The great thing about Dave is that it's not manufactured, or shall I say, there is very little manufacturing. There are not constant moments of current viral trends to stay relevant. The team was built from early, the foundations were naturally laid by Dave himself, not by the people surrounding him. Their experience helped Dave get to the next level, and his success helped them to level up too. When artists are able to not let the cultural noise or the current high of attention get in their way, it is a testament to their greatness. Only a handful of UK talent can do that. Maybe we may see him come back outside early 2025 with a Lucy or two at the back end of this year. There are hints of him working, but what we don't need to tell Dave or his team is to take your time, because the end product will never be out a second before it's ready. I'm constantly trying to improve each video. Please like, subscribe and comment your best Dave moments or tracks. Thank you.